Okay, the unit circle. You are going to see this today for the first time, and then you're going to see at least 1,000 more unit circles before you graduate. People tell me that sometimes they sleep with a unit circle under their pillow so that the unit circle will soak into your brain. Okay, the unit circle. So we're going to start with the angles on this circle. I think we know the important ones. Can you give me all four? The side, the top, the bottom. Can you give me those? So 0, 90, 180, 270 is the bottom, and then 360. Okay, now we're going to do all of the 30-degree references. So in quadrant 1, it's 30. What is 30 less than 180? 150. What's 30 more? 210. What's 30 less? 330. Okay, there's all your 30-degree spots. Now, can you do all the 45-degree spots? So if you're 45 degrees into each quadrant, so 45. By the way, you're not going to have a calculator for this on your test, so what is this amount? Anybody know what your angle would be right exactly there? 135? Is that what you got? What's 45 into quadrant 3? So 180 plus 45 is 225. And 45 less than 360 is 315. Okay, and now all the 60-degree angles. So 60. 180, and you got to be smaller by 60, so you're at 120. 60 bigger than 180, 240, and 60 less than 360, 300. Okay, so those are all these special unit circle angles. Okay, so you need to do that without your calculator on your test. Okay, now we're going to fill in all of these coordinates. So this is called the unit circle because anywhere on this circle, I'm a radius of 1 away. That's what this unit circle is all about. You're a radius of 1 away from the center, anywhere on this circle. So if that is being said, what is the coordinate over here? If you are 1 away from the center, what's the x comma y on a coordinate? Did I move x? 1. Did I move the y? No, I'm still at a 0. What's the coordinate on the top? 0, comma, height of 1, right? What's the coordinate on the 180 line? -1, comma 0. And the height at the bottom, or the point at the bottom? 0, negative 1. Okay, I am going to show you the pattern that everything works around. Okay, so you don't need to write this down, it's actually on your paper. So root 0 over 2, root 1 over 2, root 2 over 2. What's my next pattern? Root 3 over 2, root 4 over 2. Everything in this unit circle follows that. Root 0 over 2 is just 0, right? Because root 0 is 0. The square root of 1 is 1, so this could be simplified as a half. The square root of 2 over 2, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. I can change the square root of 4, which is 2. And then 2 over 2 is 1. So those numbers we're going to fill out on our unit circle. Okay, I'm ready. Here's how I start. Maybe it's not good. No. Okay, so I'm going to put my finger on the 270 and the 90. So this has an x value of 0. I'm going to move right. So the x value increased, so these have x values of 1/2. Then I'm going to move right. These have x values that are bigger, so root 2 over 2. Then I'm going to move right. These coordinates have more x value, so root 3 over 2. And then I move right, and this has the biggest x value, 1. Does that make sense? Do you see what I'm doing here? Like this. Do you see how these are lined up with each other? You see my pink highlighter? They're lined up. This has an x value of 1/2. Okay, now I'm going to reset. So 90 and 270, I'm going to put my finger there. I'm going to move left. So these x values will be negative 1/2. These x values will be negative root 2 over 2. Then move left again. These x values will be negative root 3 over 2. And then you move farthest left. The most left you can go is negative 1. Okay, everybody sees that these values I have at the top of your page here, if you're following along. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my finger on the 0 and 180 line. Let's go with the y's now. These have a height of 0, so I'm going to move up. What's the height here? If I move up a little bit, 1/2 height. I'm going to move up. So this is root 2 over 2 is the next height. Moving up, these both have a root 3 over 2 height. Move up, very, very top height should be 1. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to reset my finger at the 0 and 180, and then I'm going to move down, 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 down. So down, can you put a negative 1/2 on your first move? A negative root 2 over 2. Okay, so that's how you create it. A couple things you can do to check your answer. Every single coordinate in here should be negative, comma, positive, right? In that quadrant. Does that make sense? So you can use those ideas, your background knowledge, to check. Look at this quadrant. What are these points? Negative, negative, right? Because you're in quadrant 3. Also, here's something interesting. Do you know that zeros and ones always partner with each other? Did you notice that? Zeros and ones were always together. Did you notice that 1/2s were always partnered with the root 3's over 2's? See? And did you notice that the root 2's over 2's always partner with itself? So there's another concept you can think about. Here is something I get as a mistake, but people don't realize they're writing a mistake. This is incorrect. What's wrong with this person's writing? Yeah, you have to do it outside. So that's wrong. This is right. Okay. You can't do a square root of a negative. And I also get this, which is wrong. So do you see how you have to make sure you're just writing it carefully? So you don't do that, because you can't put this all in the root. Okay? So just think about things like that. I'm going to give you some time here to try one on your own now.